Alrighty, so just making a quick YouTube vid, I guess, just for a bit of a laugh, and it's going to be about making tray for my Colorado. So obviously I've already started a bit of a crack, but put it easy way, sides, joists, they're going to be headboard and ladder rack, just a bit of quick setup. Over here I have the mounts that I made up to go down to the chassis. So these are going to be going against the two bearers that I put on after. So I made them up, just a quick one last night. And then I'm going to build the whole frame. And then I will take the tub off, put the mounts onto it, and then just clamp the frame on at like the level and height that I'm kind of after, and then tack it from there, instead of trying to just put the mounts on the frame now. But this is where I'm at the moment, and we'll keep going updating. Alright, so here we are, crucial part, getting the first tacks on the frame. Now, crucial because these corners, all four, need to be perfectly square. So obviously if your two ends either way are obviously the same measurement, then it should be able to get square pretty easy. So just laid out now, I'm obviously using the builder square and clamping that so they get the edge pretty square, but that's not the real precise way to find it, I guess, because it can run out. So what we're going to do, from the very edge, run your tape out, and to the very tip, it's about 25/11. Now you're going to run it exactly the same way, just across the other, like the other way. If we do that, then it should be pretty much 25/11 as well. So that's obviously sitting square because I've set it up already, but that is the way to check if your rectangle, square, whatever, is sitting square. Well, there we go, that's the frame fully welded up. Now to move on to trying to set it up on the back. Alright, fast forward. Rear wall, pretty much done. Cleaned up a little bit. So I've, obviously you can do it however you want, but I've just angled it back that way, while also angling it back that way. And then just flat across the bottom. Keep it easy. I wanted to go angles down this way because when I make the boxes, I'd like them to sit on an angle as well, down to the flare. And then the angle back that way was just purely just because I wanted it. Looks a bit cleaner. And just like that, tub's off. So now you can see I've got these mounts where the tub bolts down to, but obviously they're not in line, so I'm going to have to try and make something work out there. Now that was a lot of stuffing around. When you don't have a level slab to work off, so you can't use levels or anything, and the front mount being a different height, it was a lot of playing around, clamping, measuring, running a square, whatnot, just to find where it would do flat. Alright, so this is how I went about it. These two back mounts are the same, so on this front edge, this front plane of the chassis, not the back edge, it kind of finishes there, and then before it starts going up, I measure from that to the top, there to the top, and then over here, the top mount, from the rubber that it's sitting on to this little rubber pad that the tub used to sit on. It wasn't fixed or anything, just sits on it. They're on the same height as well. So measured from that to the top, that to the top. So they were the same, they were the same. So then, I don't know, I guess it must be some sort of correctness. But yeah, for straight, it actually worked quite nice. So just flipping one on the inside to match this mount, and then works perfectly with the 50mm steel. So that was a bit of a fluke. Here's the tray just sitting on top. Looking at it from the side with just the flat tray is making me really question the 1800. But oh no, pretty much all my mates with dual caps have 1800 trays. This is just a bit delusional looking, so long. Yeah, it's pretty much covering the toe wall as well. But I don't know, maybe just because it doesn't have any boxes or anything on it yet, it just looks like it's going all the way to tomorrow. But anyway, we'll see. Might cut it, might not. Alright, so the tray's sitting on. Now I'm just measuring out for where it will actually be sitting full time. So I don't know, there's not really much to go off. So this little rib here in the body, there's one on the other side. I'm just going butted into that, measuring to the thing, and then also hooked on, measuring to the outside, and then coming around the other side and pretty much doing the exact same thing, doing that way and hooking on and doing that again, and then I've just thrown some tacks down, and then for the back, it may be a different measurement, so I think these are actually sitting a little bit off. They're not perfectly straight, but that's doesn't really matter. But it's just the measurement in between here will be a little bit different, but it's just making them the same as well. And then I'll throw some tacks on that as well, and then tack the rest of them. All right, scrap that last way of measuring the back distance. I reckon it would be a bit better this way, obviously because they're on the rubber and the holes are a bit I don't know, widened. I've changed it up. I've gone with the big square, holding it over the outside rail of the tray, and then hooking on to the chassis, and then I'm getting that measurement. So that's just, so I'm going off a solid point, so it's a bit more I don't know, precise, I guess. So yeah, I'll try to show you. I'm pretty much just holding it so it's square up on the edge, and then try to get this, and then just hook it on, and then now that's off the chassis. Should be straight with the car. No stress about anything else being out of line. Straight off the chassis to the tray, done. Alright, so the whole pad's down. Now we're moving on to the headboard, which I've already started. Just made up these two bits, and I've just left them along for the moment. So these are the two sides. So I just cut rough sizes, oversize, and then just held it pretty much roughly where I wanted, kind of following the cab a bit, and then I just scribed the square cut bottom when this was long. I just scribed that onto this bit, and then did a square line, and then worked out the middle of the scribe and the square, the center of that, and then that was my angle for both cuts, so that they're both the same angle, meeting up at the same joint. So now I just need to clean clamp that on somehow, and then find out what I want to do with the top, what height, and then work out the angle for that as well. And then I'll be tacking all that on. Alright, here's a heaps easier way to set up the headboard. Obviously, because there's going to be a bit of like a splashback here, so just one of these joists, which is the same size as this, obviously, because using the same as this, so yeah, same gap on the uprights. So just setting up one of these, which needs to be there anyway, so I set that up, and obviously the two sides square off it, which then gives me these set up perfect, and the spacing for it, and now they're lent up in the spot that I need to now work out heights, which I might just measure off that where I would kind of want it, and then just do it all on the ground instead of trying to hold a piece up there and scribing and not but yeah, much easier than what I was trying to plan on doing, was just like clamping it kinda and trying to work out the top one first. But this is definitely the go, learning as I'm going. And just like that, the top of the headboard's on. It's actually quite a treat. I'm going to leave that off for the moment because I'm going to make a ladder rack while I can tempt this easy. So ladder rack done, perfectly following the headboard, so it should look pretty neat front to back. Alright, fully mocked up. Apart from the under tray boxes, I'll build them down the track a bit, but it's pretty much where the flare is going to sit, kind of notched out around that plastic bit. I'll probably cut this back up a fair bit higher. It's pretty low at the moment. Probably go all the way up here or something. Headboard, ladder rack, all sitting on there, pretty nice. So I've bit the bullet and decided I'm going to cut it shorter. Wasn't happy with it. So this is I'm moving it forwards. I can be stuffed working around all that again. All that's all sorted out. This was the easiest way, just pull it back forwards. So you can see the checkouts I've done on the other side. It's the opposite way. And I'm moving it forwards 100, so that's 50, 50. When it goes into each other, essentially that gap that it's joining there is 100. So yeah, I did it opposites just cause thought, yeah, why not? But when you mark it, obviously you mark it out when you're cutting. You've just got to make sure you're doing it on the right side of the lines for it to work to that, you know, millimeter kind of perf. But yeah, so pinch these sides off and then slide the whole show forwards. Hopefully it comes together quite clean. So she's now 1700 tray. Not bad. I just clamped straight edges on these two faces, tacked it on both sides, then finished it off. That zigzag worked pretty well. Should be pretty pretty tough up to it. Headboard, I just went to town, just got it on. Threw in these diagonals just for looks. Yeah, that is headboard fully on. All the tabs for the under tray boxes, flares, and also just picking up the sheet a bit more, all on. Also added little tabs with holes just for like cable tying wires too down the track. Just scattered them everywhere because just wanted no issues finding stuff, the cable tie stuff too. Also welded some nuts and bolts into that to hold this plate, which then the ladder rack is I'm gonna weld the ladder rack onto this, and then so it's just gonna be Yeah, they're 2 bolts down either side. And that's the ladder rack sorted. There we go. Feet welded on. Bolts are in, ladder rack done. So obviously I took the thickness of the plate off this, so it's the same height as the headboard. Alright guys, I'm gonna have to do 2 parts because this has blown the fuck out of proportion. So obviously I'm filming this from whoop-de-doop. I'm just telling you because I was editing it and realised that shit, this thing is a fucking long video. So yeah, 2 parts, let's go.